Hello, thanks for joining me. Day 3 of Noah's Race Rep mini bike build. Layout, drawing, calculating and possibly cutting. Get yourself a cuppa, sit back and relax while I talk you through today's progress. Following on from previous day when the aluminium arrived and I started to formulate a plan to create the frame. This is what we're talking about. 2" by 4" aluminium box section tubing. Steering angle I've decided to be around 22 degrees. Where the top and bottom yokes will be are above and below this box section, literally surrounding it. I plan to have this edge parallel to that 22 degrees head angle. Why? It's convenient. It could well be made adjustable in the future by elongating any hole in the top or the bottom and having an adjustable head angle. But let's stick to the basics. Imagine this angle set at the 22 degrees. From now on we'll refer to this as the top tube. This tube goes from the steering head to what I'm calling the seat post. The seat post, made out of 1" by 2" aluminium tube. So we're starting to see the beginning of a plan coming together. The top tube will have the vertical seat post, as I'm going to call it now. This is forevermore the seat tube vertical. Going through the 2x4 section, it'll be something like that. Now, the calculations aren't as vague as I possibly just described. If we bear in mind that our original drawing showed a 22-degree steering head and fork angle, a square section tubing going from that steering head down to a vertical seat post which is just in front of the rear wheel. We have a nominal wheelbase, 24 inches. We have a worktop as a suitable drawing board that will support the weight of the project as we go along. So with my trusty tri-square, I drew vertical lines 24 inches apart, constructed a 22-degree fork angle. The steering head, top yoke and bottom yoke are seated approximately where I want them to be, but there is adjustment should I so need it. So that's the front end laid on the worktop at the correct angle and with the tube in place, the square box section tube. The vertical had to be clear of the rear wheel. It would go through the larger box section, and it would also be a fulcrum point for the swinging arm. The swinging arm was going to be set horizontal because there isn't going to be any real suspension on this mini bike. They rely solely on the balloon type tyres. So the angles were pretty simple really. The 22 degrees, the 90 degrees, the vertical and the horizontal lines all led to a design that resembled what I'd originally conceptualized on my whiteboard. Line of sight, using your eye to line it up, can be very rewarding, satisfying and very accurate. When you've been in engineering for as long as I have, you look for right angles, horizontals, verticals, parallelism, and it's just second nature to see an angle and then compare it to something else until you're certain that it's the angle you want. So having the wheelbase set at 24, having verticals set at either end, having a vertical seat post, and having the top tube intersect the vertical, I could start to visualize where this hole in the down tube was going to intersect. I wanted to leave enough metal at the weakest point so that it wouldn't fail. Using the tools, including a beautiful little square that an elderly uncle passed over to me. He'd received it from another relation who must have been a tool maker because the quality was outstanding. So a simple 2-foot steel rule, a plastic tri-square in this instance, some blocks to block things up, and a lot of looking and deciding, I arrived at the drawing we see here. I'm going to end at this point and hopefully pick up in the workshop where I cut out this slot that will not only position the vertical seat post but will allow for final adjustment of the height of this particular seat post and the down tube. So it's crucial that the hole that I create is suitably accurate enough to do the job. So thanks for joining me. Join me again soon.